four of us who are. Bingo, got it. And let me turn on my recorder. One quick second. Okay, so this is the Armory Park Historic Zone Advisory Board meeting for Tuesday, the 20th of June, 2023, and we have a quorum present. We may have some more members joining us. There are four. So first things first, roll call. Let's get the people who are here. I'm here. Tom Beal. Just say present if you're here. We have to do it for the audio recording.
I'm present.
Great. Sarah Bachman-Williams.
Present.
Helen Erickson.
Here.
Great. Okay, that's who's present on the list. Maurice Roberts, Stan Schumann, and Maurice Roberts are not available this evening or may join us at a later time. Okay. It's been a couple of months, but the minutes for the March 21st, 2023 meeting, that's when we did the South Herbert Avenue, were sent out a long time ago. Questions, comments, they've already got their permit, so it's kind of moot at this point, but I need a motion.
So the minutes look good to me, John. I move we approve the minutes.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Sarah.
Great, thanks, Sarah. Roll call. Tom.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
I say aye. And Helen.
Aye.
Great. 4-0, minutes passed. Call to the audience. Jody, it was kind of unusual. It was last week when comments were in, so I don't expect you got any, but have you received anything?
I did not.
Okay, great. All right, let's go on to item 4, reviews. We have only one tonight, SD 0623-00065, 821 South Fifth Avenue. Construction of an Arizona room and bathroom addition. Full review, contributing resource. And Brad Pace is here to present the project. Do you want to do screen sharing or have Jody pull it up?
If Jody can pull it up, that would be great. It's
Sure.
thank you. It's easy to follow. And actually, you know, if we could start with page 5 photos, like the bottom right photo shows the back of the house. So if we can zoom in on that one, right there. Yeah. Yeah, you can't just hit it individually, unfortunately.
I did have a quick question about that. It looks like there is a large cistern back there. Will it have to be moved?
It will.
Okay, so we need to put that in any recommendation we make that. Do you have a projected location for the new cistern?
Well, I was thinking of just feeding the, water underground, just out into the plants in the yard rather than collecting in a cistern. It seems like we have like horrible mosquito problems with that cistern. And especially with, the 2 months a year when we're gone, and that's the monsoon, it just didn't make sense.
So we should probably say move it or remove it at the owner's pleasure to a site either similar in position or to the rear of the building.
Correct.
Okay, great. So we've got that comment going. Okay.
So yeah, if you even zoom in a little more, what you'll see there is that is the back porch. And the problem is there's just several issues with that back porch, and enclosing it made, all the sense in the world to me. For example, what you see back there is well, you see a fiberglass corrugated roof right there.
Mhm.
And then there's like a 4-foot metal corrugated roof to the left of that, right there, about 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
They don't blend in with the house. And what you have back behind there, you have the hot water heater, just sitting out there in the open. And then next to it, you have that stacked washer dryer just to the right of that ladder. Yeah, the hot water heater's to the right of that. To the right. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's nothing else. You see like what looks like a workbench sink area right there. That isn't hooked, that's not hooked to water. I don't know what Kathleen exactly did with it, but it's just a freestanding bench.
Okay.
So
And the window you're talking about replacing currently has that kind of strange pop out window.
correct, right there. Yeah, you see it's propped up on two blocks. Those concrete cylinders keep it from falling over.
Okay.
And it's it's falling apart, and it needs totally rebuilding if we kept it. And it just seems like out of place. So I just wanted to replace that with something else.
Do you have an approximation of the window opening there? Because it's not on the plans.
Oh, okay.
It looks like
Approximation.
it's about 3 feet tall by about 4 feet wide.
That would be about right. Probably a little less than 4 feet.
Okay, but for conversational purposes.
Yeah, so 3 by 4, let's say.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what I want to say is, so from a practical standpoint, the idea of the washer dryer being outside is not attractive. The hot water heater sitting there, well, it's great for the pigeons. They keep nesting on top of it, but it's, out in the elements. I don't like that. And a couple other things, the shower, which is behind that glass block wall that you see on the back right there, you can see that checkerboard.
Mm-hmm.
That drain, my best guess is it just goes into some sort of a leach field, because you can't run the shower for more than if you run it on a low speed, you can get about 5 minutes if you're moving fast.
We don't deal with that. We can say that we would not have approved a glass block wall there, and it looks from your plans that it's going to be framed over, which is a good thing, but it'll be the building inspector departments that tell you how to hook up your plumbing for existing and the new.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not really our purview.
So I guess I don't need to worry about that, but that's one thing about during this remodel process, we're hooking that into the standard sewer line.
Okay.
We're also going to raise the grade of the yard, just within the few feet of the house, so that, during monsoons, the water will pull like maybe about 3 or 4 feet away from the house, because right now that's the low spot. That's the kitchen where that bay window is. And you can see the discolored plaster down there, because I guess it has settled over the years. So, that's part of this process, is to get the grade corrected.
That again is landscaping grading, and that's not really our purview.
Okay, not your purview.
I hope you can fix it.
Yes, yeah, I hope so too. So anyway, the plan is to square off that back piece of the house. So run the kitchen wall straight across to that, I guess that would be the south side wall, and just square that off. And then the roof line, you can see above the kitchen, the way that green metal roof extends. The idea is just to pull that exact same material and same grade right across the whole back.
So it'd be standing seam painted green metal roof to match.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're not going to, well, we can change windows if you want, but the opening, that door that goes into the backyard is going to remain right there. Yeah.
Into the new Arizona room.
It'd go into the Arizona room. We would take the screens and that would become the screens for the new door that would be on the south side. And then behind that, we would have the same wooden pane doors that we have in the kitchen right now. So another set that would match those.
And you're proposing those to be solid wood,
Correct.
4 foot wide French doors.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have those on the north from a way older edition or renovation, and
Oh, yeah.
that's there.
Oh.
And there's that kind of northern porch with very decorative columns that was done before the permitting system tracked that sort of stuff.
That, yes. Yeah, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything to any other side of the house.
Okay.
And you can see that this isn't going to impact landscaping or anything. So what we're planning on doing is, stucco and wood. And so we were thinking of, like, I guess, would you call it a pony wall? So something that would be maybe chair height wall that, if you're sitting, so you could be sitting at a little table in that Arizona room and basically looking out into the yard.
Should we scroll down to the elevation page?
Sure. Yeah, we can. Yeah, the idea is to be able to, we would have a separate, you call them what, mini units or something? They combine. Yeah, right. We would have one of theirs though. And we would be able to basically shut the kitchen doors and not heat or cool the place, the Arizona room, when we're not using it. But when we're using it, we would be able to open it up and, bring it to the temperature of the rest of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the room you can see as you blow up that top right-hand corner.
And it looks like those 6 windows in a series you're proposing, they're all fixed wood.
That's what I'm thinking. We've not opened a single window in the house. We opened the screen doors, for ventilation. So I didn't want screens. That was one of the things, because I want to be able to just look outside.
Okay, so they're all wood fixed windows that are, each one of them is 3 feet wide by 3 feet 8 high.
It looks like it, yes.
Okay, that's what I gathered from the plans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're interested on the inside, you can see there was room where Kathleen's sink was to put a little bathroom, so that we'll have 2 bathrooms instead of just one in the house. And then those bifold doors would be where the hot water heater and the washer dryer were.
Okay.
And then the rest of it would just all be wide open, just probably a table and a couple chairs.
Okay.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's, I guess, everything. Oh, and a tiny little porch you can see that door right there, going, the south door going back into the yard. Wanted just something over top of it, for when it's raining.
Will that, it says exposed wood columns decorated to match existing. Are you going to do the carved columns like you have on the north side, or are they going to be standard 4x4s?
They would be standard 4x4s.
Okay, and that will have a metal roof as well?
Yes. Yeah, the same color metal roof.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
Offhand,
we're flexible. I mean, if there's things that don't look like they work, the main thing is just to get the thing enclosed.
understand. It's fairly straightforward. There are a couple things that I have concerns about. One, it says they're going to be, the window you're replacing in the current kitchen and the one in the bathroom are sliders. And they're not allowed.
Okay, the kitchen. It says the kitchen and the bathroom are sliders.
Yeah,
Um,
neither are clerestory windows in the HVAC.
I thought they were all fixed. They could be fixed or they could be double hung, I guess.
The one in the kitchen looks like it could be two double hungs or two fixed or one fixed and one double hung, because of the size of the opening. Most of the windows on your house are vertical oriented.
Correct.
So, two side-by-side double hung units with a center panel or something like that would make more sense than a single slider window. Would that be amenable?
I agree. And that's fine.
Okay, and it's the same with the bathroom window. That high clerestory slider window is not really a window type that is allowed in the HPZ. Would you be willing to do a small, more vertical unit that's more a little like the little 9-pane window that you saw on the backside, or just a small double hung window from 1/8 to 2 wide or whatever, and whatever height with the top of it aligning with the doors so that the same rhythm is there, because it's all along the south side.
Oh, yes, I see it. It could align, it could certainly align with the doors, and it could, I'm assuming it was there just for bathroom ventilation. Could it be what would it be, a casement that
Yes.
pivot from the top?
Yes, as long as it's vertically oriented, it could be a casement that you can open. Sure.
Okay,
You have casements on the house elsewhere.
we do.
So the precedent is set with the building itself.
Okay,
But
good.
the window form should be like the building itself and kind of general standards of the development zone as well.
Okay,
So those are the two things that kind of struck me, but otherwise it seems like you're kind of cleaning it up. The other thing you say, stucco to match, how do you propose to differentiate this addition from the existing building? Will it have a wider weep screed at the base, so it will have a separation from the foundation that's visible?
it could. Is that what you want? I thought if it all looked the same, that was best.
General guidance currently is that you can determine what is a new part of the structure from the original contributing portion of the structure.
Okay, well, yeah, we can do the that weep screed. I mean, so you're just talking about that the plaster ends.
Instead of the plaster ending right at the ground level, it's raised a few inches off the ground with a concrete foundation line visible.
Yes,
Another thing that's acceptable would be to put a structural joint where the new addition meets the rear of the kitchen, and also where it meets on the south side, the existing building. would those be the general things you think of, Jody, that would be options?
Yeah, you can do a score line in between where the old building was and the new construction is happening.
Okay, would those be reasonable, since this is basically flush with the existing walls?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
those are fine.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, and for me
Sorry.
too.
Was that for me? Sorry.
okay.
Huh. Yes,
Tom.
that sounds better, actually.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to work collectively with you to just kind of make it fit a little bit better and still achieve your objectives. Tom, any thoughts?
Oh, I think your plans look good, Brad, and John's suggestions, which you seem willing to accept, are good ones. The whole idea of putting additions to historic buildings is that you want them to look similar but not identical. You want to be able, it's so that people can say, okay, this is the historic part of the building and this is the new part. And they can be as subtle as, you know, a slightly bigger weep screed or a little delineation where you do it. And it at times seems silly, but there's a reason for it, and it's not hard to do. But otherwise, I'm fine with the plans and with John's suggestions.
Great, yeah, thanks.
Sarah?
That addressed all the concerns I had. So, and it seems pretty straightforward otherwise.
Okay, Helen, auditorially, any comments from what you've heard?
My concern was the windows, and I think that's been solved, so I'm happy.
Okay. Great, so we need a motion that says, one, they can tear down the existing polycarb rear structure and the area over the laundry and demolish those sections, and then two, dealing with the slider windows, they need to be vertical double hung or vertical two bay for the kitchen window and a vertical oriented casement for the bathroom, and roof to match, stucco to match, and historic delineation by a weep screed, and preference for a score line to differentiate the old and the addition. Does that sound like the summary?
That sounds pretty good. And if I could, John, I would move to recommend approval of the project as presented, with the caveats that were just articulated by John. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. I'll second that, Sarah.
Okay, one quickie, we also ought to put on there that if the existing cistern is moved, it should be not visible from the street if it's retained. Is that acceptable, Tom and Sarah?
Yes.
It's acceptable to me, although, you know, there are a lot of cisterns that are visible from the street here and they don't bother me.
Well, it's there towards the rear. It's not going to impact the contributing portion of the building.
Right.
It'll give you an option if you decide to upgrade your cistern without having to get a separate permit, Mike. Okay. Great. Roll call vote. Okay, Sarah,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Helen,
I
John, aye, 4-0. Okay. All right. Well, Brad, good luck with it. Have
Thank
fun
you.
with the building inspectors when you get going on all of that. I hope you can fix your drainage problems, but I hope that's helpful. From here, it will go to plans review. Sarah will type up the minutes, we'll share them and send them on to Jody, and they should be posted by the time plans review takes a look at this case so that they can forward it for a director's decision and you can get a permit 14 days after
Yeah,
that.
I should have those out in a couple days, so.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, well,
Any
So,
other questions for us or Jody?
now just look forward to being at, I guess there's monthly meetings, aren't there? Armory Park, meetings, not historic in nature.
Well, there's two different groups. There's the neighborhood association that meets the second Tuesday of every month, and those meetings have gone live. And then there's this, that is the third Tuesday of every month, is a general selection, but this is our third meeting for the year. 'Cause
Okay,
not that many cases have come through, so it's as needed currently.
all right, well, look forward to meeting people.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Good luck, Brad.
All right, should I leave and let you finish your meeting?
You
It's your
can leave or you
choice.
can stay. It's up to you. You don't have to stay.
Yeah.
You don't have to go.
Well, I'm gonna check out and go talk to my wife. So thank you.
Enjoy a
Okay, thank you, Brad.
solstice eve evening in Colorado. Take
It
care.
is solstice eve and my sister's eve birthday.
Right.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay, we can get through most of the rest of it fairly quickly. Item 5, design guidelines project. I've been busy on other projects to get anywhere with that, so that there is no new update, and I'll go through it when we get down to call to the board. Jody, item 6, the commission separation update.
We are still in a holding pattern.
Okay, I will leave it there. Minor reviews, there have been 5. Let's see, the first one was 811 South 4th Avenue to install an electric meter to the south side of the building. That one was approved. 126 East 14th was a change of materials for roofing. That was approved to go to shingles from a prior metal roof that probably wasn't compatible anyway. Although I will note that it's kind of sad. One of the structures may have one of the older existing corrugated roofs in the neighborhood. There was a 619 South 5th Avenue. There was a shingle review for replacement in-kind type and style. That one I think is approved, but I haven't been able to find the approval letter for that one because it came through in kind of a weird non-SD number. 748 South 4th Avenue was for a fence. That's the new corrugated fence that's going up at Albert Elias's old house. And I'm not sure why it was approved to have corrugated at 6 foot high for the sides in the front yard, because that violates codes. But I didn't want to spend $1,000 to appeal the decision. They will be putting the old wrought iron fence on top of a masonry wall for the front, so there will be some continuity to that. But for all intents and purposes, that one's a real blunder. That is an intrusion into the streetscape of the avenue, and I can't explain why that one happened at all. And then the 5th one was we just did the other day, 725 South 6th Avenue. That's the parking lot north of Baffert that is in the HPZ, and it's restriping. They were able to reconfigure it with one way so that they can get more spaces. They're tearing down a non-contributing shed. The one big change is that they will have to stucco the trash enclosure because it's in an HPZ instead of leaving it exposed concrete block like the Baffert, because they're separate parcels and different zoning underlays. So I think that's for minor reviews. I've heard rumor of a couple of them. One of them is for a full guest house, so it really should be a full review instead of a minor review. And then let's move on to item 8, call to the board. Anything? Tom? Nope. Sarah?
Nope.
Helen?
You're not going to expect me to say anything, I hope.
Well, all right, then I'll do it. Helen and I were part of a sub-project since January of 5 people meeting weekly and writing what became a 70-page report that was presented at the Historic Commission on the 16th of the way the current design review, the Historic Commission and the advisory boards were created, how they work, how they function, and how the process has worked relatively well over 50 years, and with some recommendations and rebuttals of proposals that were in the Michael Baker report. It's for consideration at the commission, but I expect at some point this summer they will probably approve it as a policy. Then it will be sent to the advisory boards for us to adopt too as a policy direction moving forward, which basically means it does not look like the advisory boards are going to be going away, and we should continue as we are. And I don't think there's any other serious meetings. I will announce that a neighbor of mine, Jim Wolfson, died, and there's a memorial service on the 29th at Armory Center, and that's it for me.
Hey,
Anything
John,
else?
is that report online?
No, it is not. It was given to the Historic Commission for their feedback. So far, we've got a whole bunch of typos and corrections, and I think content discussion will be at the next Historic Commission meeting in July. I don't know if they will approve it then or if it will be bumped on to a later date. But when they give at least tentative approval to the report, it will be going out to the advisory boards for their consideration and input too, before, so that there's kind of a consensus of good and bad things and where to go next within the community at large before anything would go to mayor and council for redirection.
Okay, thanks. I'll watch for it.
This is Helen, and I will try to speak because one of the things that has happened is that we have gotten funding for the commission back, thanks in part to John. And one of the things that we want to do with that is make education sessions possible for the commission and also for the advisory boards. And we'll have more information about that shortly.
There will probably be training for everybody at some point this fall, and a recognized educational format online that will be in like a 60-day window that will be available to advisory board members and commission members and city department people and staff and so on and so forth. That's made possible through the National Park Service continuing education.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah. Future agenda items. Jody, anything?
Not at this time that
Okay.
I can report.
Okay, all right. Do you know if there are any upcoming minor reviews pending scheduling? I know both you and Michael are looking forward to vacations pretty soon.
Michael's usually the one who schedules the minor reviews. He then sends the appointments to me, so I don't
Okay.
have that information either. Apologies.
Okay, all right. And so you'll be gone next month if we have a meeting?
There will be coverage. There'll be somebody that'll attend the meeting if you have a meeting.
Okay, all right. Oh, the other thing of some import, there is a new planning director, Christina Swallow. She comes to us from Las Vegas, started the position on the 30th of May. And what I gathered from my conversation with Mike Ortega, she's going to go into an intensive deep dive into PDSD and building codes because she's more familiar with engineering. So hopefully we'll be able to meet her at some point here in the near future. And I hope it's a good new chapter for both the department and for all of us. Anyway, I think that's about it. Anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Great, thanks, Tom. And I'll second that one. Okay, we are adjourned at 7:10 PM. Thank you all. Enjoy. Happy solstice tomorrow, and